Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am actually doing a recorded video. I've been doing so many live streams. It's just, live streams are so much easier, you know, it's much more interactive, people are there. But I said, you know what? Every day for the rest of November, I am going to challenge myself to do a walkthrough every single day. Okay, I know I can do it because I've done it actually before in the past. I actually did like 2 walkthroughs in a day, I think sometimes. But anyway, I was gonna make this a much more grander video for this deck, but I'm like, girl, chill, alright? Save that for another time, make it a video series like you did with the Marielle, and, you know, so, for this deck at least, not every deck. I have other plans for other stuff with other decks, but anyways, this here, let me actually start with the backs here. This is the Great Bible Tarot, or the Gustave Dore Great Bible Tarot. This is printed by, I'm not quite sure who prints this, but you can get this off of pyroskin.com, which is the only place that I've been able, that I could see where to get it. There is another Dore Bible Tarot, so you can see here some information. It talks about 80 cards. These are the 2 extra cards about it. And then it says card back reversible, card titles English, deck type archetypal bibliomancy cards, companion booklet English language. I don't think I got a companion booklet. T, or unless this is considered the companion booklet. No, I don't think I did. No. Oh, well, I didn't get one. Anyways, additionally available editions. Yeah, I don't think the company that made this is, you know, they're quite, you know, on par with correct English grammar. I don't think English was their first language. So you have a Spanish version and a Russian version as well. There was a limited black art edition, so I'm guessing this wasn't all white, you know, it was like maybe black with black borders and all that. I actually would like to see that, you know, maybe with, you know, plastic cardstock perhaps. Well, anyways. Also, okay, yeah, DoreBibleTarot.net, 2003 to 2014, all rights reserved, HTTP, and then it shows a website, www.DoreBibleTarot.net, but there you can't get the deck from that website. You can only get it from the Pyroskin website, which you can get quite a few other decks as well. It does take a while. It took like about, like, 4 weeks, I want to say. It takes quite a while. But you got to make an account, and they do offer tracking and all that. It is quite pricey for, you know, a deck like this. I do wish the box was a little bit better. It is just a normal tuck box. It's very flimsy and thin, but it doesn't seem, I don't know, it's like between your standard US games box and the Game Crafter box that you get. It's like a, you know, much more closer to the Game Crafter box, you know, that I got with the Ashira Tarot. Let me actually see if I can bring that out here. Yeah, it's, no, it's actually kind of better because look at my Game Crafter, my Ashira Tarot box is all worn out. But anyways, and I haven't even like really used it that much. But anyways, but this box actually does a better job of containing the cards. But enough about that. Let's get into the cards themselves. These are the backs, which I believe it's, the sigil is some, oh, I can't remember what it is. I think it's like the name of Christ or something like that. I can't remember. Go check out Nobody Here's walkthrough or talk about this deck. She clarifies about what the card back is, this little sigil here. Let me see if it'll focus on that. You see, right there. ICXC NIKA, which I can't remember what it means. But anyways, I should have been more prepared, but again, this isn't a fully informed video. This is just a quick walkthrough. The backs are reversible, as I said. This deck, I think it could do with a trimming. Like, you could trim all this off, maybe. You can trim it down to that, but I think the art definitely deserves to be bigger. Dore's artwork definitely deserves a much larger, you know, focus here. Come on, focus here. Yeah, my camera's not doing a good job of focusing. Let me see if that'll help. No? Yeah? Yeah, we'll keep it there. I need a new phone. Donate to my Ko-fi down below. Help me save up for a new phone. Anyways, so let's just start with this. Here we have the Fools Adam and Eve right here getting cast out of the garden. They said, get out of here, don't be eating our fruits. But, you know, there's more to the story than that. Like I said, let's just do a walkthrough. Here we have the magician as Jesus walking on water. I would have liked to see instead, well, it would have been weird to depict that. I know there's a depiction of it, but it's when Jesus is like on the boat and there's like stormy waters and all that. And he's like, peace, be still. And an emphasis on speech and, you know, talking, you know, which, you know, Mercury and all that. That's just my Golden Dawn associations coming through there. Anyways, here we have the high priestess, the Blessed Virgin Mary. She's, you know, essentially, you know, back then they didn't have birth control, so they had to wait for an angel to tell them, hey, you're pregnant, you know. I'm just kidding, no. But there's the lily that is said to, the annunciation of her pregnancy with Jesus there. Very beautiful. Of course, the Virgin Mary is strongly associated with the high priestess, and also the empress, like the empress and the high priestess, two sides of the same coin here with the Virgin Mary. But this, though, is in a different book of the Bible. I can't remember, but this is definitely a depiction from the book of Revelations. You can't really see it. This is really dark printing. I think they really need to, if you're listening, Pyroskin, or whoever printed this, do lighten up the cards. You can barely see the dragon right here. But yeah, the crown of 12 stars, that's where your traditional empress actually gets that from the book of Revelation. I think it might be in other mythologies, though, so I need, you know, don't quote me fully on that. Here we have the emperor, King Solomon here, the wise King Solomon. There's many, like, King Solomon was like, you know, master of everything. Like, wasn't like in King Solomon's trade, it was a case, it's not a jack of all trades, master of none. He was truly master of all trades, you know, at least from what the Bible says, you know. Extremely wealthy, extremely wise, and had many, many wives. But from what I remember from my Bible days. Here we have the Hierophant. This is the one depiction that I'm not quite sure what is being depicted here. I'm not sure if this is Old Testament or this is New Testament. I'm not sure. All it says is the keys of the kingdom of heaven. It's you know, I asked around on a few live chats, like, hey, where do you guys think, what do you think is being depicted here? I do want to get the Dore Bible illustrations. I actually want to get all his illustrated books, and, you know, I want to actually like make a deck of Dore's artwork, but not just of his Bible, but also like from the Divine Comedy, and he also did Don Quixote and Paradise Lost, and the Crusades. He did quite a few, he did hundreds and hundreds of illustrations. Here you have Adam and Eve. Here it's actually Adam just awakening beside Eve when, you know, right after God created Eve. But moving on, though. Let me see if I can get a close-up of there. No, it's because it's on focus like that, so we're going to deal with that like that. Here we have the chariot, the eighth vision. I believe it's from the book of Ezekiel or Isaiah. I can't remember which one it is, but there's a lot of other like Old Testament books where they see visions. Like, I think there's like a lamp and like some oil and a flying scroll or something. I could be wrong, but it's in the latter part of the Old Testament. And honestly, it's quite interesting when you read like the depiction of it, and you can see like a lot of chariot card, you know, associations there. A lot of what else? If you know your esoteric tarot and all that, if you've seen your tarot decks, you know, you'll see like, oh, that's very similar to that. So yeah, here we have Justice, Wisdom of King Solomon. This was the story of the two mothers, and one of the mothers were like, I think she rolled over her baby while they were sleeping. Of course, back then, I guess they couldn't afford a crib. No, I don't think so, because I think they were prostitutes, I think. Well, they were trying to get that money, but you know, she, this woman, like, she rolled over her baby, and she was like, you know what, fine, I'll take 1/2 of the baby. And the mom's like, and this lady, she's like, no, let the baby live. She can have the baby. And then someone's like, okay, hold up, she the baby mama, you know. I skipped over a lot in that story, but do your research, people, you know. This is one that I was like, oh, I can't remember. It was, but we have the Hermit, One Nation. He's going essentially into this dark valley where he's seeing this vision of all these people like dead and dying, I think, and this valley of dry bones, you know, I think is what it's called. I can't remember who it is, what book this is from, but I believe it is from the Old Testament, but I can't fully remember. So yeah, it's apparently like a vision of a warning or something. If, you know, they don't change their ways, this will be their doom or something like that. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune, the writing on the wall. This is actually a very funny story. It's like, so they're celebrating. I think this is King Nebuchadnezzar, I believe. He just got out of that weird moment of when he was acting like a wild animal. He had a mental breakdown, I think, eating grass and walking on all fours. And so he got better, I think. I can't remember how, probably through God or something is what the Bible would say. But he's there, they're celebrating, and then this writing on the wall says, I think it says like Menem, and no, I can't, no, I'm not even gonna try. I'm pretty sure that's from a different Bible story, but there's writing on the wall, and nobody can understand what it says, so they get Daniel, and they're like, hey, what does this say? And he says, oh, it means that you're going to be overthrown, that your reign will end. And I think like literally that, like hours later, they were invaded by Cyrus, I believe, and Nebuchadnezzar was overthrown literally on that same night. And so yeah, which is kind of like the Wheel of Fortune, the rise and the fall. The wheel turns. As one king rises to power, another must fall. Anyways, here we have strength. Daniel in the lion's den. This was before, I think, that whole Nebuchadnezzar being overthrown, I think. But anyways, thrown him in the den, and yeah. So anyways, no. Moving on. We're gonna keep going, Here we have the hanged man. Darkness over all the earth. I think this is like right. I think this is right when Jesus died, I think this is the moment he died, like right then he died, I think. Yeah, like the earth trembled and everyone was like running away. I think even the temple was even like the shroud to the temple, like parting temple or something was, separated. The separation was removed or something. I can't, I did so much research for this deck, but again, like I said, another video, another series, perhaps, but just the walkthrough here, Zach. Don't spend too much time on here. We've already on 12 minutes. Here we have death. Of course. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse, of course. Here we have temperance, Christ feeding the multitude. Here we have the devil, temptation, which, again, where you need the lightness, you can barely see the snake here. At the bottom, tempting Eve, like, hey, go ahead, take a bite. And then we have here the tower. Here it says chaos. I wish they stuck to like what the picture's actually depicting. It would have been very helpful. Maybe even like say like what book of the Bible it can be found in or something, or maybe a guidebook could be handed to me. I didn't get a guidebook. I don't think nobody here, Annika, she got a guide. I don't think she did when she got her deck. I know a few other people ordered the deck and got the deck, but I'm not sure if they got a little white book or something. They should offer that. But obviously here's the Tower of Babel. A very apt, depiction for the tower. Here we have the Star of Bethlehem. The three wise men following them. I think they were called Magi, the three Magi. Anyways, yeah. Then we have the moon, the cup of suffering. It's, here's, Jesus in the garden or the mount or something, the orchard, the olive, I think. I don't know where he is. I can't remember. Oh, I want to say the name, but no. He's all like, I really have to, like, I think he's having like, he knows he has to go through this, he knows he's going to die. He knows he's going to be crucified, but it's like, it's the cup of suffering. It's like, he just doesn't want to suffer through it, I feel. Maybe, I think is what he's asking for. Goes to show how much Bible I know. Here we have the sun, let there be light. Definitely, like you can see, this is from the book of Genesis. This is the first light, and he said, let there be light. Here we have judgment, the book of life. I think I don't know I think this is from the book of Revelation, I believe. The names written in the book of life. In the Bible they say that there's only like a limited number of people that will be in the book of life, and I'm like, girl, there's 7 billion people, like, make some more room, And then here we have the world, the New Jerusalem. This is again towards the end of the book of Revelation. Again, we have the new kingdom of Jerusalem. Like he even like goes and even measures like how large and wide and how big this city will be, and like what the gate will look like, what the gates will look like, and all that, you know. Essentially, when the world is destroyed through, you know, all those plagues and bowls and trumpets and all that of the angels, a new kingdom will rise. So yeah, but moving on though. So here I'm gonna try. Okay, so I was thinking like, oh, I'll just do this by suit, you know, ace through king, you know. But then I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it how I want to, and I'm gonna do it through the Mary L organization, which is by number. So I'm going to go through the aces and the twos and so on and so forth, you know. So here we have the Ace of Wands, Descent of the Spirit. It's very Kabbalistic, you know. There's a lot of things that you can see like, oh, that's very Kabbalistic, you know. Here we have the Ace of Cups, the Baptism of Jesus, very straightforward. Ace of Swords, God Almighty. I was listening to the Fortune's Wheelhouse podcast, and something about like the wand is said to summon angels and the sword is to destroy demons or something like that, you know. Listen to that. Listen to the Ace of Swords in the Fortune's. Listen to the Fortune's Wheelhouse podcast. I always talk about that. I always say, listen to it. Listen to it. So here we have the Ace of Deniers, Ace of Coins. Okay, Ark of the Covenant. You know, they're all harvesting their fields, but here you can see the Ark of the Covenant over there shining. It's essentially, I want to say, God on earth, you know, spirit on earth, I want to say, is what the Ark of the Covenant actually was. And that's why it was like so like important and so like powerful, you know. But yeah, but anyways, again, don't want to get too deep into this. Here we have Wands, the prophet Amos. Amos was, he was just complaining about everything, that from what I read from his book. He has a book entirely to him, the book of Amos. Amos, or is it Amos? Amos. I'll use my Spanish pronunciation, Amos. Here we have the Two of Cups, love, Adam and Eve in the garden, you know, everything's cool, everything's great, but look, there's a snake right there. What's he doing there? Then we have the Two of Swords, Christ and Pilate. This is when the people had to make a choice, you know, should he be spared or should they crucify him? We know what happened next. Then we have the Two of Coins, Lazarus and the rich man. It's a parable, I believe, from the New Testament. Then here we have the Three of Wands, the power of faith. I believe he's healing either the blind or the lame or the crippled. Some disability he's healing, you know. Here you have the Three of Cups, abundant grace. This is where Daniel is like thrown. I think it's either Daniel or some. I think it's like, I can't remember who it is. All that's thrown in there. I can't remember. But they're thrown into a furnace, and then they open and they go and check into the furnace, and they see that there's like angels there with them. But here, I don't think so. I think Dore decided not to incorporate that. But this is one of the few instances of where they cut out the rest of the art. There's actually a much larger. There's a lot more art above this here. This is like down below in like a pit or something, and like these, there's like the king and some people looking down at them. So this is, yeah. So yeah, wish they didn't cut that, you know, and maybe saved it for something else. But I think they wanted to keep it in focus of this. I know the Tarot of Delphi does that, you know. She prefers to cut rather than like to stretch and zoom in, you know. So anyways, here we have the Three of Swords. At first I thought this was Abraham sacrificing his son. Not so. It's actually a story from, I can't remember what the story was, but you know, it's a very horrible story. It's the kidnapping and the rape of a woman. Very, very, yeah. Wish they chose a different. Wish they did the Abraham about to sacrifice his son, but you know, or something else. You know, I don't know. Here I have the Three of Coins, rebuilding the temple. Yeah, the temple. It's always being destroyed and rebuilt. Like it was like destroyed like 3 times, I want to say. Here we have the Four of Wands, Isaac and Rebecca. Yeah, definitely a good choice for the Four of Wands. Here we have the Four of Cups, hopelessness. Yeah, yeah. And then here we have the Four of Swords, the death of Ahab. Yeah. Here we have the Four of Coins, Ananias and Sapphira. Don't be greedy. Here we have the Five of Wands, struggle. The Five of Cups, Lot's wife. Don't turn back, girl. Don't turn back. Five of Swords, death of the sons of Jerubbaal. I can't remember what story this was from. I think it's from either Apocrypha or Deuterocanonical? I can't remember what the term is. Here we have the Five of Coins, Hagar, and Ishmael in the wilderness. Six of Wands, triumph of Mordecai. From the book of Esther. I think it's Esther, right? Yeah, it's Esther, I think. Here we have the Six of Cups, Jesus blesses the little children. I kind of wanted a different depiction, you know, but there's not really quite any nostalgic type of card depictions from the Bible that I can think of. So yeah, you know, fits, I guess, you know. Six of Swords, child Moses on the Nile. Six of Coins, divine healing. I think this is where he heals the blind. I'm not sure. I can't remember. There's so many different cards here showing Jesus healing people. Here we have the Seven of Wands, the valor of Eleazar. Yeah, he faced an elephant. Here we have the Seven of Cups, Jacob's dream. Jacob, he dreams about... Essentially, this is where people get Jacob's ladder. So, yeah. Here we have the Seven of Swords, Jael and Sisera. Yeah, I want to say it was... Who was it that killed who? I think Sisera was the knight, or not the knight, the warrior that came to her, and he's like, protect me, help me, and then she, I think she kills him. I want to say she kills him, and she's like, look what I did. Look, I have to do your job for you, or something like that. I can't remember what story that's from though, or what book. Anyways, here we have the Seven of Coins, Sermon on the Mount. Look at that. The Eight of Wands, army in the heavens. There's several instances of where they envision the armies of God in the heavens in multiple different books of the Bible. So I wasn't quite sure what story this is from. So yeah, but I believe it's Old Testament. Anyways, here we go. Jacob goes to the Egypt. Here's an instance of where the English isn't all there, you know. It should be Jacob goes into Egypt, you know, not to the Egypt. Yeah, here we have the Eight of Swords, the children of Benjamin. This is a story that I can't seem to find anything about, unless it's from some story from the Bible that I don't have access to from the different books that I have. But I'm still not sure because, you know, anyways, Benjamin was the youngest son of Jacob, and this is the children of Benjamin, or I'm not sure. And you can see them, they're like trying to run away from something. Or something, I don't know, or they're being kidnapped? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's being depicted here, so I'm going to have to get that Dore art book to really fully like see what is being depicted here. Here we have the Eight of Coins, Cedars of Lebanon. These were used to build the temple, Solomon's temple. The death of Samson, the Nine of Wands, yeah, his last stand, essentially. He pushed down the pillars, and he killed everyone inside. Here we have the Nine of Cups, the Last Supper. And then here we have the Nine of Swords, Lamentation. It's a very interesting comparison, you know, the Last Supper, you know, and then after the crucifixion, he's being led into the temple, or put into the temple. He's not being led to the temple. Yeah, he's being laid to rest in the temple. Then we have the Nine of Coins, the land of promise. They sneak into the land and they steal some grapes, and they're like, look at all these grapes, you know. Here I have the Ten of Wands. Rebecca's deception. She did that. Messy. Messy. Here we have the Ten of Cups. Return of the prodigal son, of another parable from the New Testament. The Ten of Swords. The massacre of the innocents. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ten of Coins. Nativity. The birth of Jesus. And then here we go into the pages. The pages are all angels, except for the Page of Coins, which, again, another Kabbalistic, you know, Kabbalistic tarot significant thing here. So here we have the Page of Wands, liberation, you know. It's the angel leading, I can't remember what prophet out of imprisonment, but she, like, kind of, like, puts them all in a trance. Or he, actually, I should say the angel. Well, angels don't really have a gender, do they? No, well, anyways, angel comes and puts everyone in trance or sleep or something, or great darkness, I think, falls everywhere, and he's able to sneak out. Tobias and the angel, you know, this is where he meets this angel here, and essentially this fish, this giant fish, like, leaps out of the water or something. I can't remember what angel it is, though, that he meets, but it is in a book, the Book of Tobit, actually. I think he's called Tobit in some books, I think. But Tobias, Tobit, choose. Here we have the Page of Swords, the angel appearing to Joshua, and this is where the angel tells Joshua how to, you know, how to take down Jericho, you know. And that's when they march around Jericho. And here we have the Page of Coins, the Page of here we have Joseph, essentially the interpreter of dreams, a messenger. Essentially, he receives or listens to the messages that, you know, people receive through their dreams, and he interprets them. You know, he's the only human of the pages. You know, where all the other ones are, you know, water, air, and fire. Those are all very spiritual, intellectual. You know, immaterial type of elements. Here we have the material messenger, the messenger of the earth, you know. So yeah, and here he's interpreting the Pharaoh's dream. Here we have the Knight of Wands, the prophet Elijah. Here Elijah was salty. He was, like, 3 times soldiers came to him or something, and they told him to, like, surrender or something like that, and he, like, just, like, struck them down with lightning or fire from heaven, and they were all struck dead, I think. And that happened like 3 times, and I think on the last group, on the 4th group, I think they said like okay, we'll leave you alone or some shit like that. I can't remember, but even then he still, like, struck them down. He showed no mercy. Okay. Here we have the Knight of Cups. Follow me, Jesus telling the fishermen to tell them that he'll make them fishers of men or something like that, you know. So yeah. Here I have the Knight of Swords, Judas Maccabeus, or Maccabeus? Maccabeus? Maccabeus or Maccabeus? So he was essentially a soldier or a leader of a war, and he fought to reclaim the Promised Land? I can't remember what, but I think he shows up in a few other cards, I believe. In the Book of Maccabees, I think that's what it's called, is where that story is, so, yeah. Anyways, here we have the Knight of Coins, Jesus and the Pharisees. Yeah. You have the Queen of Wands, Vashti. She is truly a Queen of Wands, prideful, and will answer to no one. You know, this was pretty much the setup for the Book of Esther, I believe. I want to say it's the Book of Esther. You know, with Mordecai and Esther, and so yeah. So she was like, I'm not gonna go, and, you know, I'm not gonna be at your beck and call all the time, and she, like, just stays in her room or something when the king calls for her. And so they're like, okay, well, we can't kill her. And it's like, or something, or maybe, like, she'll lose her power. I can't remember what roundabout thing that they do, but essentially, you know, they're like, you need to get a new wife, essentially, and that's where Esther comes in. But I don't know if she's here, right? There's Deborah. No. Okay, so here we have the Queen of Cups, Rebecca. Look at her. She was the, I can't remember who, I think it's Abraham, or, I want to say Abraham says, like, okay, go take our, take our livestock or whatever to a well, and the woman that offers to help, draw water from the well for both you and your animals, she will be the wife for, I want to say, Isaac, It's in the Four of Wands. Let me see. 3, 4 of Wands. Yeah, for Isaac, and so Rebecca's like, oh, hey, I'll get you water for you and your animals. And so he's like, you are the one, Then we have here the Queen of Swords, Deborah. She was I think she was a judge, one of the judges. And she told the armies of Israel, I could be wrong here, how to, like, essentially a battle plan, essentially, I want to say. She told them, hey, do this. So yeah, she's definitely a Queen of Swords there. Queen of Coins is the Queen of Sheba. She was all like, I keep hearing about this Solomon. Is he all of that? Or is it all just talk? And so she went and looked, And boy, was she surprised. I'm not sure, did she marry Solomon? No, I don't think so. Here we have the King of Wands. Artaxerxes, I think? Artaxerxes? Could be wrong in the pronunciation. I was probably wrong, like, on half of these pronunciations. But anyways, I think this is him building the temple, I want to say. Here we have the King of Cups, Cyrus. He like, went to the temple and he saw, like, all these, all the Israelites, like, artifacts and relics and all that, and he's like, these don't belong here, these belong to them, give them back. And very generous king, he gives back to the people, so I want to say, I could be wrong on that. Then we have the King of Swords, Joshua, leading the armies. I think after Moses died, it was Joshua that took control, I want to say. Or it could be someone. It could have been someone and then Joshua. I can't remember. Then we have the King of Coins, King Solomon. Of course, a very, very fitting King of Coins. So yeah, and that is right there the Great Bible Tarot. This card. So let's get into the cardstock. All right. So this does not have a glossy lamination or anything. The shuffleability is, like, really, really good. I love this cardstock here. It's matte, it's soft, but it kind of feels like it doesn't have much protection, I feel. If you see here, you're not going to see much of a glare compared to other deck, but so yeah. So anyways, what else was I going to say? I just saw that we got cut off there, so sorry for the awkward cut off point there, but cardstock is great, great shuffleability. You can overhand shuffle it, it doesn't stick, it's very flexible. It is large, it is roughly the same size. Here's a traditional tarot card here. I don't know what, I want to say I found the exact same size for another deck, but here is a standard tarot deck. And then here is that. So let me actually lower that so you guys can see much better. So yeah, much wider, much taller than your average tarot. So yeah, I want to say it was like $40 minus shipping, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. It is quite a pricey deck. So I like it. If you like your Tarot of Delphi, but and I think it's a really good deck to bridge the gap of Christianity and tarot. I think it's I think it'll help break down some barriers. All right, and to show that the tarot is just archetypes and all that, and these archetypes can be found in any story, any religion. So even in the Bible. Yeah, but there is another great Bible tarot, or Bible tarot, Dore Bible tarot, I can't remember what it is, by Moonchild, not the creators of the Starchild and Moonchild tarot, but she is actually called Moonchild, and she has a website called Moonchild, and she has different type of decks. A few cards are changed, you know, there are some similar cards, you know, but this is the one that I got because I liked, you know, number one, I like the borders better, and I like that, and I've heard the cardstock's really good. I do kind of want to get that Bible tarot and do a comparison of the two, but so far, you know, she has, you know, some competition. I think all this deck needs is a better box, and to brighten up the colors. Like if you see how this is all clear and you can see the details of the robes, compared to like here, you can't really see like what's going on here, or what's, you know, the details are all muddled, you know. Like here's a good card, you know, but they need to be more like this one or this one, you know, because there are some cards that, you know, like here, you know, the background, you know, if you look at other cards, at other pictures online, you'll see that it's actually very, you'll see that it's actually a much more clearer and brighter and crisper card. So yeah, so there you go. I hope you all enjoyed this walkthrough for this, you know, to challenge people on their hashtag No Deck November. It's only a challenge if you watch these walkthroughs and you don't want to buy the deck, you know. So yeah, you know, that's the true challenge. That's the true challenge. Yeah, that's how I talk. That is the true challenge. No, I'm not even gonna try. There's been a mispronunciation thing going on with me. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all later. I need to think of what I'm gonna choose for this cover, for the cover of this, you know, the thumbnail for this video. Oh well, anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all later in the tomorrow with another walkthrough. Bye everyone.